C's Truth Channel.
Thank you for coming to C's Truth Channel. Today I've got an interesting video for you. This one's called The Dragon's Den and the Garden of Eden. I kind of just stumbled upon this idea and I'm kind of just seeing where it goes, but I wanted to share. So I'm going to start at Genesis 2:8. And the Yahweh Elohim planted a garden in Eden in the east, where he placed the man he had formed. So, if you watched the last video, the 13th chapter, then you would see how I showed you that in Revelation, the beast of old is the Elohim, and that the second beast out of the earth is the Yahweh Elohim. And it talks about the dragon and how the dragon gave the Elohim his power. And I showed you, whenever I broke it down into etymology, I got roof and angels, which I put together as house of angels. Whenever you look it up in the Strongs, it means to look or to see. So, garden in the Strongs means enclosure. In etymology, gar means to make, like to make someone do something. Blaze, leg, spear, and station. Den can mean small cavern, a wretched place, a lair, to hide oneself, child, to bear fruit, human being, husband, pine, and day. So garden together can mean to make man, to station a lair, to spear the husband, to make to bear fruit, a station, and to hide oneself. Planted can mean established, fastened, or planted. And Eden is Adam and Eve's home, and it can also mean delight, pleasure, delicate, luxury, dainty, and to live voluptuously. So I find some of these interesting, how it says to make someone do something, a wretched place, a lair, to hide oneself, and to bear fruit. And human being. So whenever we go down here and it says, and Yahweh Elohim established to make man a house of luxury or pleasure, what I am doing is translating this verse into what it actually is supposed to say. This verse here says, and the Lord God planted a garden in Eden, where he placed the man he had formed. So the Yahweh Elohim established to make man a house of pleasure, a house of luxury, the garden. And Yahweh Elohim stationed an enclosure that was beautiful to look upon, the Garden of Eden. So this also relates to the Vatican and the beast as well. The Garden of Eden was a place of luxury, a place of delights and temptations, a place where everything you can see, everything you look upon is beautiful. And this beauty was designed to deceive mankind into procreation with angels. It truly was and is an adversary to mankind. So the Garden of Eden was beautiful. It was a place of temptation. It was a place of luxury. A place where everything that you looked upon was beautiful. So the word dragon. Now Sumerian for dragon, as I said, is the dwelling place of Elohim or the house of angels. So this means that the dragon could very well be the dwelling place of the Elohim or the dwelling place of the angels. Now the spirit of Elohim, whenever you look this up and you break up the syllables, it is dome, spacecraft, and water, which I find interesting because garden means enclosure and a spacecraft is an enclosure. Dragon means to see and to look. Garden is an anagram of dragon. You got D-R-A-G. You turn that around, you get guard. And then on. Gardon. Dragon. Every tree that was pleasant to the eyes and pleasant to look upon was in the garden. It was in the dragon. From the sound of it, the dragon or the garden is extremely large. So we have an extremely large craft or enclosure. This is how the Elohim hovered above the waters in Genesis 1:2. This is also how the beast rises up out of the water, out of the sea, in Revelation 13. So the dragon was cast out of heaven with his Elohim. If the dragon, the adversary, also known as the devil, deceived 1/3 of the angels, then the dragon could be a house of pleasure or a house of temptation for the angels as well. So this dragon, this garden, not only deceived Adam and Eve, but it also deceived the angels. So the dragon means to see and to look upon. And in the garden, every tree was pleasant to the eyes, was pleasant to look upon. In a house of temptation and a house of pleasure, something you look upon and can't help but indulge yourself, it would be just like Eve whenever she looked at the fruit. Because every tree was pleasant to the eyes. A dragon is known to have incredible insight and able to spot prey from any hiding place, like a craft with radar flying in the air. Now let's go to Revelation 12. The woman was given a place to hide from the face of the dragon by the Elohim whom dwelled in the desert for 1260 days. It is the Yahweh who also dwells in the desert. And garden can mean to hide oneself. So Yahweh and the Elohim use the garden to hide themselves. So let's go ahead and look at Genesis 2:9. And out of the ground the Lord God made to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food. The tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of knowledge of good and evil. So tree means carpenter. Son of God equals carpenter. Sons of God equals Elohim/angels. Genesis 2:15. And the Lord God took the man and put him into the Garden of Eden to dress it and to keep it. And the Lord God commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest eat freely, but of the tree of knowledge of good and evil thou shalt not eat of it. For in the day that thou eatest thereof thou shalt surely die. So the Yahweh Elohim, I don't think, grew the tree of life. He didn't grow the tree of knowledge of good and evil. They were in the midst of the garden. They were in the midst of the dragon. They were carpenters. They were Elohim, or angels. The carpenter of life. And then we have the carpenter of knowledge of good and evil. Notice also that the Lord God did not make the man in the garden. The Lord God took the man and put him into the garden. The Lord God took the man and put him into the dragon to dress it and to keep it. So basically he said, take care of my spaceship. So when Yahweh entered the garden after Adam and Eve ate, it says that they heard the sound of the Lord coming in the garden. Does this not sound like a personal craft he may have flown into the mother ship, or perhaps the dragon? Now, whenever we talk about the red dragon, red can mean to disappear, rejection, and refuse. So this dragon, this mother ship, this garden, has the ability to disappear and also to appear. So basically, I just wanted to show you guys that dragon is an anagram of garden. And dragon means the house of God. The garden was in the Strong's called a enclosure. And we all know that an enclosure has 4 sides and a roof. So perhaps this garden was a spaceship of some sort. And the garden in etymology means to make someone do something, such as put them in a house of temptation and, kind of force them to fall short. Dragon, as I said before, can mean to look upon. Well, the garden was beautiful to look upon. The Yahweh used the dragon to deceive 1/3 of the angels, as well as to deceive Adam and Eve in the garden. So perhaps this dragon has the ability to appear and disappear. And I'd imagine that if it's a spaceship, the woman hid from the spaceship because the spaceship has radar and the ability to track. So just wanted to share, see what y'all think. Hope y'all enjoy. Hope you have a great day.